All right, welcome everyone to the inaugural Webinar Wednesday. I'm your host, Kanon Dean, co-founder of Team Phi. I'm joined by my other co-founder and brother, Zeth. Zeth, say hi to everybody.
Hey everyone, we're super excited about this project. We're going to be doing a webinar every Wednesday, as you can probably tell by the name, and we're excited to really grow this into something that can help you coaches, be better equipped for fundraising, really, at the end of the day.
That's exactly right. The mission of Team Phi is to help you fundraise easier, better, quicker, and for almost free. So that's why we started the company. We'll get into that in a little bit. But first, let's take a look at the agenda for today. We've prepared some slides here. We'll be sending these out to everybody who couldn't make the call. Here's our agenda. So we're going to do quick intros. We've kind of already done that a bit, but we'll give you a little bit more background on Z and I, what we do, that sort of thing. Then we're going to jump into our content, our feature content for today, which we just put out on our newsletter last week. If you don't subscribe to that, make sure you check that out. You can access it from our website. So we're going to do that, go over our most recent newsletter post. And then if we have time, we are going to do a short demo on our product. So you can kind of see how that fits into some of the content we've been putting out. So that's what we've got in store for you today. As always, if anyone has questions as we go, raise your hand and we'll stop for you because we love talking to you and hearing your feedback. So with that out of the way, let's jump into intros, some quick background. Like I said, my name's Kanon Dean. I'm a co-founder of Team Phi. My role in the company, I do a lot of content. I also do all the back end, so the not sexy stuff. That's not really important to you guys, but just so you know, I'm the not sexy one of the group. I graduated from Lowell High School. I know a lot of our people attending are from Michigan, so you'll know Lowell, right outside Grand Rapids. And then I also went to Harvard, where I wrestled, graduated 2018, so about 4 or 5 years ago. Like I said, I wrestled in college, but I'm also a big football fan, played football in high school. It's very important to me. So those are my two sports of choice.
Yeah, and my background, as you can probably see by the bullet points, is very similar to Kanon's. Also a college wrestler at Harvard, also from Lowell, also a co-founder. The only big difference here is really our role within Team Phi. And my expertise really fits within the design and front end space. So I am sort of the developer of the Team Phi brand across all mediums. And most importantly, building out our front end of our app, our website, and anything really of that nature. The look and feel of Team Phi, if you will, and the usability. So that's my role.
So now you know a little bit more about what we do, maybe too much, or what our roles are. But here's what we do. So this is Team Phi. We started Team Phi because we're sick of watching coaches pay too high a fundraising fees. That's basically the main goal. Our dad's a longtime football coach here in the state. And, honestly, we've seen him run fundraisers where he has to give 50, 40, 30, 20% of his fundraiser back to a third-party company. We think that there's no reason in today's digital age that you can't do it for almost free. And so that's why we started Team Phi. And along with that, we want to educate you on fundraising best practices, ways you can do it for easier, cheaper. Hey, maybe you don't even have to use Team Phi. Maybe you just want to look at our content. I think that'll be a great resource for you too. So that's why we're doing it. We founded Team Phi, Z and I. We just started 5 months ago. And we've already helped 30 coaches around the nation fundraise just over $300,000 at this point. So we're proud of that. We're hoping to come back to you, next Wednesday and have that number go up even within the week. So that's a little bit of our background on what we're trying to do here with Team Phi. Z, anything you'd add there?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is we're as Kanon said, is we're really trying, our mission, sort of our North Star, if you will, is to equip coaches with better tools. And so our niche for that is fundraising. Fundraising is laborious, it is a friction point for coaches. And frankly, it's frustrating. And we've recognized that. We've experienced it through our dad's experience. And our goal is to really minimize that friction, make it easier, and make it a very simple process for coaches. And ultimately, an added bonus is that we can do it for cheaper as well. And so that's our mission.
Sweet. And so right along that, we're putting out content every week that I think is very interesting and unique. And so that's what we wanted to devote the first portion of today's call is our newsletter last week. And we're calling it 5 Things I Learned Surveying 100 Coaches About Fundraising. So over the past 5 months, like I said, we've had a lot of opportunities to talk to coaches, hear what they like to do, what they don't like to do, how they approach fundraising in their program. And so we've been able to put together a nice little data set here of, hey, here's 100 coaches, mostly in the state of Michigan, but also all around the nation. And here's how they approach fundraising. And so we've got 5 high-level takeaways. If any of you have questions on the takeaways or want to dive deeper, feel free to raise your hand or shoot me an email after the fact, and we can go through the data together. So let's jump in. Survey takeaway number 1. Almost everyone fundraises. That might be kind of a moot point. Kanon, that's why we're on the call, you might say, but I just wanted to hit it home. We asked 100 coaches and 92 of them said, yeah, I'm fundraising this year. So you're not alone. And furthermore, I would add the 7%, 7.7%, 8% of people that responded, no. Well, guess what? They're still fundraising. They just aren't fundraising at the team level. So those guys were categorically at small private schools where they don't allow the coaches to fundraise because guess what? The school's already fundraising through their advancement office and they don't want to double count. So just thought I'd add that. You're not alone. Fundraising is happening. If you're a coach, you're doing it. Let's jump to number 2. Don't feel bad about running more than one fundraiser a year. Most coaches are doing it. So look at our graph here. We asked each coach in our survey, how many fundraisers do you run annually? And guess what? More than 60% of them said, I'm running 2 or more fundraisers. So you see that chart, the long tail. We had a couple coaches even say we're running 6 fundraisers this year. Now, hey, that might be a little overkill for most coaches, but you can see here, hey, look, most people are doing 2 or more. Let's jump into number 3. I think this is maybe one of the more surprising insights because most people are running a summer camp as part of their program. I think most coaches do that. But you know what was strange? Even though most people are doing that, only about 1 in 6 coaches even mentioned it as part of their fundraising strategy. What does that tell me? That tells me that it's really not a fundraising opportunity. You might make a little bit, maybe $1,000, $500 for your program, but it's not gonna move the needle. So it was a bit surprising. So if they're not doing summer camps, what are they doing? Well, I got you down here. That's our survey takeaway number 4. What style of fundraisers are you running? This is the graph. You can see number 1 there is crowdfunding style fundraisers. And I think this is actually one of the other interesting points because I talked to a lot of coaches. They're a little hesitant about the crowdfunding fundraisers. Why? It's understandable why, right? You're just asking for donations. You're reaching out via emails or text. You're a little worried about spamming people, just asking for donations. And you're like, Kanon, we're not really providing any value back. Is it okay that we do that as coaches? Well, here's what I would say. 1 out of every 2 coaches we asked are running one today. And you can see out of everything we surveyed, this is the predominant style of fundraising. So I would say, look, you're right to have those concerns, but also pretty common. I think people are expecting it at this point. So again, you don't need to provide that value. Survey takeaway number 5, it really builds on the last point. Don't forget about providing value though, okay? So crowdfunding fundraisers, they're all the rage. You can see they're by far the most popular style fundraiser to run. But look at number 2 and number 3 there. almost a little more than 1 out of every 3 coaches is running a golf outing, and 1 out of every 4 coaches is doing some sort of discount cards. Those are great fundraisers. They're a little more labor intensive. We've got some tips and strategies to come later in the next few months on those 2 styles of fundraisers as well. But they can make a lot of money for your program, and certainly they are providing some value back to your community. People like going to golf outings, and those discount cards, give you discounts at a bunch of local restaurants. So that's survey takeaway number 5. Those are our 5 key points. Like I said, if you have any other questions on the data, feel free to email us. You guys can raise your hands at any time if you want. But yeah, that's kind of the insights. One thing I would add is, and this will segue into our next segment, is, I mentioned crowdfunding fundraisers as the number 1 style of fundraiser. I would really heavily plug our product, Team Fi. And why would I plug Team Fi? It's almost free. So a lot of other crowdfunding tools out there, a lot of other good ones. None of them are almost free. And so use Team Fi. We're going to give you a demo right now as part of today's meeting, but we strongly believe in it. We've had 30 plus coaches in the last 5 months start to use it. We think next year that's going to be in the hundreds. So that's all we got. So Z, anything else you'd add to that before we jump into the demo?
No, not at all. I think we can head right into the demo.
Sweet. Okay, so I just plugged the crap out of Team Fi. So what better way than to follow that up with a quick demo? So we're going to do a live demo here. Again, this is kind of in the weeds. So if anybody has questions, feel free to stop us. Z, I'm throwing you in that bucket too. If you got questions, I know you built it, but if you got questions, you stop me, all right? And you'll click the link in the email, and we're going to ask you to set a password. So we'll do that just like any other app. And boom, once you've set a password, you're going to land on what we call your coach's dashboard. And we try to make this super simple, right? Mission of Team Fi. Do it for free or almost free. Make it super simple, make it quick. And we think our coach's dashboard has done both those. You can see across the top, hey, Kanon, I don't know how to run a crowdfunding fundraiser. I'm a little overwhelmed with it. Hey, no sweat. We've made it super simple for you to do this in 5 easy steps. That's across the top here. Look, congrats. You've already done step 1, created your account. Nice work. You're now on to step 2, creating your fundraiser. Hopefully it's obvious what you need to click next. That's the big green glowing button down here. But I would say if that's not obvious, and this is true for any point of using our product, you can always come up here and click these help buttons. Say, oh, okay, I got to do this next. Yeah, very simple. So that was a great feature. Zeth built that. He designed it. I think it's great. So we're going to come down here and click this green button. We're going to get 5 simple questions we've got to answer. That's it. So, hey, look, if we want to run a demo here, we'll just use a fake team here. So we'll say, hey, this is the Missouri Outlaws. What are we raising money for? We're raising money for a new wrestling mat. We know that those cost about $10,000, so we're going to put $10,000 in our goal here. And, we want to leave everybody a nice note. Hey, why are we fundraising for this? Let's just play make-believe and say that there's a nice note from Coach in there. I'm just going to type that in. You guys can kind of use your imagination there. And then we're gonna upload this sweet logo here. So, boom, and look at that. Step 2. We're now on step 3. We've done step 2. Oh, I'm feeling good. If any time I want to come back and edit this, I can just click the edit button right there. Very simple, very straightforward. So, hey, Z, any questions? You think I'm leaving anything out?
No, I don't think so. Really, the one thing that we'll get into is with the onboarding, we've really tried to make it as linear as possible for coaches. So you'll notice, on that first step, the big green glowing button was sort of the thing to click. And as you move through the onboarding process, we've sort of taken that green glowing button and we've made it sort of the CTA or the call to action for every step of the way. So even if you do get a little lost or you're not sure what to do next, really, if you just follow that green button, you won't mess up. So in addition to the steps being labeled at the top, we've also tried to sort of weave that into the user experience. So
That's a great point. Everywhere throughout the app, you'll see the big green glowing button. If I could just give you one piece of advice, is follow the big green glowing button. If you do that, you can't really mess up. So, and to that point, what is the next big green glowing button here? Sharing the sign up link. So you'll see you're on step 3, inviting your players to join. This is the most laborious part of the process. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, guys. This is make or break your fundraiser. We think we've made it very straightforward. So it's literally as easy as clicking this button, sharing this link, and dropping it in your group chat with your team. So I know a lot of you guys, you got your Remind app, your Band app, Sports U app. Just drop this link, and all your players got to do is click it and sign up. So I'm going to show you that right now. Pretend I'm a player. Hey, Coach Kanon, I'm a little wrestler. I'm signing up for the Missouri Outlaws fundraiser. Oh, okay, yeah. Let me sign up. I need an email. Okay, need my first and last name. And just like we ask coaches, everybody's got to have a password. So we're going to do that. And we are signing up. Boom, we've signed up. Notice any similarities, guys? This is almost identical to the coach's dashboard, but this is our player's dashboard. So it's going to say, welcome back, player's name, in this case, mine, Kanon Dean. And just like we make it super simple for coaches, like Zeth was saying, linear, we make it super simple for players. Boom, you've already passed step 1. Congrats. You're now on step 2. You need to update your account info. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to update my profile. I get the option to change my first or last name. Maybe I had a typo when I logged in. We know that happens. But we can also, most importantly, upload a nice photo of ourselves. Look at that guy right there. Boom, you already saw him once. Sorry, you got to look at my ugly mug twice. So, boom. I'm now advanced step 2. I'm now on adding my contacts. This is the contact window right here. We set a goal of 20 contacts, but I'm going to let you know, guys, there's no hard or fast cutoffs with Team 5. If you want to go for 30, tell your kids, hey, I want to shoot for 30. You're more than welcome to. App's not going to stop you. If you want to go for 10, you're more than welcome to. App's not going to stop you. We've had coaches do both. Look, it does move the needle on how much you're going to raise, but that's not our business, right? The app is here to provide you the experience you want. So we put 20 in. That's completely arbitrary. As far as adding a contact, this is another thing where we're, a little different than most. We're all cell phone based. And really, you can summarize that for one reason. Kids have cell phone numbers. Your players have cell phone numbers. Look, I'm 28 years old. I do not have my grandmother's email address still. Now, maybe that speaks a little bit more about me and who I am as a person, but I do have her cell phone number, all right? So I can get into contact with her. So I can put grandma in here, which I'm about to. And I think I'm just evidence of your general player. They probably don't have your grandma's email address. Does grandma even have an email address? I don't know. So let's add grandma, add her cell phone number. That's super simple. I'm going to check that I know grandma, and I'm going to add her as a contact. Boom! That's one contact added. You can see here, grandma now goes to my added contact list. If I want to delete grandma because I made a typo, I can come here. Very simple, that sort of thing. So I don't think I have to sit here and add all 20 contacts for you to get the picture. But Z, jump in. Did I miss anything?
The only thing I'd add is, so when Kanon went to go share the link with his players, he shared it in the team app. But we're introducing this week a QR code. So we'll have a second option for you to onboard your players. Would be the same process, just stemming from a QR code instead of a link. Because with a number of coaches we've worked with thus far, they've asked for a QR code regardless, and we're happy to supply that. But we're actually going out of our way to build it into the app so that you'll have it at your disposal without having to ask. So that's really the only thing I would add.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's an important new feature that's dropping later this week. Yeah, I know you guys like using the QR codes. I've done it manually for a number of you guys. So stay tuned for that. So, all right, we've added a contact. let's log out. Let's see what the coach is looking at. Guys, we don't leave you out to dry as the coaches. You're not blind to all the stuff that your players are doing. We're jumping back to your dashboard now. Now, look, you're on step 5. Boom, you've advanced to step 5. You're technically ready. Follow the big green glowing button, activate. You're ready to activate technically. But wait, how ready are you to activate? That's the question. And we give you this dashboard here that lets you know, hey, if you start today, you've got a player in there, he's added 1 contact, and our projection would say, hey, look, man, you're gonna raise at least $11, right? How do we come up with that projection? Well, we've run enough of these where we know, hey, every contact you get in there is probably worth at least $10 to $11. Now that can go higher, right? We know we run fundraisers that go as high as $30 a contact, right? Depending on what kind of area, what kind of sport you're playing. But we give you this kind of low ball floor projection. You can think of it as, hey, if I start today, I'm going to raise X number of dollars. So obviously, you're probably not running a fundraiser to raise $10, right? I think we can all agree to that. So the next question becomes, okay, so what's going on here? Who's my knucklehead? Who's my guy that doesn't have their contacts uploaded? So we give you this roster view here. You can filter it. There's only 1 player in here, so you'll have to play make-believe for a little bit. But this does actually sort when you've got 2 players in it alphabetically. You can do it by number of contacts. You can see, oh, Kanon Dean. You've only added 1 contact, buddy. What's going on? I can click into Kanon's profile, see what's going on. Okay, he's added his grandma. I can come back. But that's the guy I got to follow up with, right? So we give you this roster view to kind of manage that. When you're ready, when this number is now higher, let's say you're trying to raise, well, we're trying to raise 10 grand. It says 10 grand. Okay, I'm going to hit go. This is literally the last thing you have to do as a coach if you run in one of these fundraisers. This is the last button you got to click. There's no other effort required. We weren't lying when we say this is super simple. We're going to come here and click this. We're going to get a little warning message, and yep, we're going to click. And that has now started our texting automation flow. So what has that done? We're now going to send a text message every 4 days for the next 2 weeks to every single one of your contacts. It's going to say something to the effect of, hi, Grandma, this is Kanon. My team, Missouri Outlaws, is raising money for XYZ this year, in this case, wrestling match. Would you please help me reach my fundraising goal by clicking the link below? We'll follow that up 4 days later, follow it up 4 days after that, follow it up day 12. Now, one key distinction I'd make, and Z, I want you to jump in here if I'm missing anything, is we take a lot of pride in not spamming your donor base. I think it's very important, and you know this as a coach, that you don't have parents, players, family members saying, look, you just blew up my inbox with texts or emails. We don't do that. Each first text that goes out, it's very clear that anybody receiving that text can unsubscribe. They can text back stop to unsubscribe. That's on the message. And also, if someone donates, they cease to receive new text messages. We're not going to double text, triple text. You donate on that first wave, you're done getting texts. Team5 is not a spam platform. We're here to help your team. So those 2 key points, that's Team5, man. Day 14, you're going to get a check for 92% of what you raise. So we just take that small fee. Like I said, Team5, we're all about doing this for almost free. So Z, what did I miss? I've been talking forever.
Yeah, so the only thing that I would like to highlight is, as a coach, once you do activate, we equip you with a number of tools to, in addition to your players and all of the messages to their contacts. Something that we've found is really effective for teams is them sharing it to their shared social media. So you'll see now, if you follow the green glowing button, even though your onboarding is done per se at the top, you're through step 5. On the left there, you'll see, okay, my fundraiser is active. Now let's share the donation page. So we have a direct link with Twitter, with Facebook. You can just share the link, if you will, and that'll take you directly to your team's donation page, which is the same link that is sent out in the text. So if someone is going to donate, that's the page they land on. And then as a coach, we understand that you want to know how your fundraiser is going. And without any barometer, maybe you've done a crowdfunding fundraiser in the past, you sort of have a total amount that you're comparing your Team5 fundraiser to. We actually want to equip coaches with significantly more ways to track their fundraiser. So at the top there, you'll see in the fundraiser performance interview, we have 3 tabs. The first is progress. So progress is exactly what it sounds like. How is your fundraiser going? This is just a pure effectiveness metrics, right? So how much you've raised, what your goal is, how many donators you have, your average donation, and then your donation per contact. And next is duration. So in addition to sort of the effectiveness metrics, these are sort of your longevity metrics. So how many days has your fundraiser been live? So right now it's 0. If you check back in on this fundraiser tomorrow, it'd be 1. That's really straightforward. Text rounds sent and total text sent. So this will give you an understanding of, the fundraising text waves that Kanon, discussed. This will give you an idea of exactly where you're at in that process. And we'll also tell you at the bottom there with the more metrics, how many more you have left, when your last text round went out, and when your next text round is scheduled to go out. And then lastly, we keep this here just so you can compare. So these were the metrics you saw before we activated the fundraiser, when you were in the onboarding stage is what we call that. We keep these projection metrics here. So as your fundraiser progresses, you can compare your effectiveness metrics to these to see, okay, did I overperform? Did I underperform? And, when I come back to do a Team 5 fundraiser next year, how can I make sure that my fundraiser is better than it was the year prior? Well, the surefire way to do that is to check back in on these projection metrics and just do your best to have more players in there, have more contacts per player. And those are really the 2 biggest things. But yeah, so I've been talking for a long time here, but the key is that you have complete transparency throughout the entire fundraiser. And then once the fundraiser is live, complete transparency over how it's doing, how much longer it'll be going, and how that compares to your projections. So that's just something I wanted to bring up because it's something we've placed a lot of time into solving, is how can we keep the coach in the driver's seat the entire time?
That's a great ad, Z, and you'll see, all over our product. I hope you see the care we've taken to give you the tools to be successful in a transparent way, right? That's, part of the values of Team 5. We want to do this. We want to make it easy. We want to make it, almost free, and we want to make it quick. And so we think this sort of dashboard helps you do those things. Real quick, I'm going to stop for questions because I know we're running out of time. Do we have any questions, guys? Anybody? Z, question?
No, I would say just this based on, what I just was talking about is, our goal is to keep you in the driver's seat the entire time of your fundraiser. And that's why our motto is control your team's fundraising destiny, because really we hope that with Team 5, you get all the decision-making power. No one is going to step in and tell you what to do or how to do it. You can always ask for help, but it's your product, it's your fundraiser, it's your team. So no one's going to tell you what to do or how to do it best.
That's a great ad, Z. So if there are no further questions, I'm just going to give you a little bit of a flash forward to next week, guys, because we're going to be running these every Wednesday into perpetuity. So we go back to our slides here, right? We gave a little overview and we showed you, hey, these are the 5 things we learned from our survey, 5 high level. Well, guess what? Next week, we're going to even deeper dive. We're going to split this survey data in 2, and we're going to say, we got a bunch of coaches that responded to us that had winning records last year. Got a bunch of coaches that responded to us that they're just starting out. Maybe they had losing records last year. We're going to see what sort of insights do we have from the coaches who had winning records versus losing records. Was there any sort of big takeaways there? Do winning coaches do things a little differently? So you'll have to either see it on our newsletter, subscribe if you want the answers to that, or next Wednesday, man, tune in. You'll see it all over our social media. You're free to tune in or just subscribe and we'll send you the video after the fact. So thanks everyone for attending the inaugural webinar Wednesday. Thank you guys from the bottom of our hearts, and stay tuned. We're looking forward to talking to you guys again soon.
Yeah. And one last plug before we sign off here, is if you want these sort of what we walked through today, these metrics in a more digestible, sort of readable format, we will be dropping an ebook here on all of this with comments from Kanon throughout to provide context. So if you want that, just reach out. and we're happy to provide that.
Thanks, guys. Stay tuned for all of that. So talk to you soon.